good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Bull City Hangout 6-9. I'm Pat Murray. I publish the Durham Skywriter, that's Durham's online community paper. And with Bull City Hangout, basically I tell you what's happening today in Durham. Then I invite you to click on that link on the Facebook side, join me on camera, shoot the breeze, share information, etc. So I'm going to start out with an 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟 handy hint as listed in the cover story, very popular feature of the Durham Skywriter. I invite you to send your 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟 handy hint, and I will add it along with your name. So let's see. So tea and coffee stains can be scrubbed out after soaking the stained cup inside and out as necessary in a 50-50 solution of water and vinegar. Add salt if the stains are persistent, and that really works. From now on, don't forget to add a splash of water into your tea or coffee cup if you don't plan to wash it right away. That really works. I know it's frustrating to have those tea stains or coffee stains. That's a good way to get rid of it or them, and also a good way to stop it. Just add just a touch of water in the cup when you're done, and then you won't have those stains. Okay, now let's go to the word page, the nonprofit and government information page. And let's see, I'm just going to mention that the city of Durham and Durham County both have really helpful programs, including, rental assistance. You can get these Fat Trapper kits from the city. They're free with reusable aluminum bags to put your oils and grease in when you're cooking or grilling. Okay, it's a good way to not have to pour it down the sink, because that can clog up your sink and really mess up your plumbing there. So you can do that, and there's all kinds of different programs. The city can help you if you've fallen behind in your water bill. Anyway, just check all of those out on the word page at your convenience. All righty, let's see. Also, let me see if I can find it. Durham County, they're looking for bilingual Spanish speakers who can volunteer to do client intake on the 1st, 3rd, and 5th Wednesdays. And I think today is, today is a second, what's today? The 9th, second Wednesday, so you can sign up for next week. And this is where you go to the Durham Community Food Pantry of Catholic Charities on Chapel Hill Road. They do this obviously on Wednesdays, 1st, 3rd, and 5th, and then you help sign them up for help. You would volunteer at the Triangle Nonprofit and Volunteer Leadership Center. The link is right there on the word page. All right. Durham Technical Community College. They have the Small Business Center, which is downtown. Right now, all of the wonderful free workshops as held by them and also other small business centers across the state. Some of them are listed on the word page. There's so many, I couldn't possibly list them all. So check the link, and then you'll see what I had to leave out. But let's see what's on the docket for today. Let's see. They had some good ones yesterday. So today from 1 until 3, search engine optimization checkup. That's making yourself more discoverable online. So yeah, that's really excellent. Actually, Guy, our cook, the gentleman who drops in a lot, he's a specialist in SEO, a super duper specialist. But anyway, you can get help also from the Durham Tech and the other small business centers by going to this workshop today from 1 until 3. Also today from 1 until 4, 30-day online marketing makeover. That sounds good. Okay. And then from 6 until 7:30, getting the most out of mobile for your small business. That's making sure that people who are using your services or discovering you on their iPad or their smartphones or whatever, get the most out of your website, et cetera, et cetera. That's good to know as well. Also today from 6 until 8, how to protect your name, patents, trademarks, and copyrights. Okay, another good one. There you go. So check it out. Sign up in advance. They're free after all. And then let me know how they work out for you. Okay. Let's see. And it's not too late to sign up to volunteer for Kids Voting Durham. Oops, I went past it, didn't I? There it is. So Kids Voting Durham, they're the ones who put together the wonderful election guides. And they also let young people know how important it is to vote and to get involved in local politics. They say politics, they're all local. or something like that. But anyway, they're looking for young people ages 14 to 24 to volunteer as youth interns. They can learn about and also share their skills in tech, outreach, writing, design, and other skills. It starts, June 21st is week after next. So from Monday, June 21st to Friday, July 30th. The hours is up to the young person because we know their lives are quite busy. So they can volunteer from 10 to 25 hours per week. This is going to be a virtual experience, and they will be under the supervision of staff from Kids Voting Durham. So they won't be just, abandoned. So this is going to be very, very hands-on, but virtual, if you know what I'm saying. So it's not too late to sign up. In fact, Carolyn said that they can sign up more young people than usual because they don't have to worry about space because, again, it's virtual. All right, so sign up for that. Let's see. Let's go to the health page. To your health. Of course, I have your COVID test and vaccine updates, including the fact that you can just stroll into the Durham County Department of Public Health, 414 East Main Street, and get vaccinated for COVID. It's that easy. The hours are 9 to 4 until 6 late on Tuesdays. You don't need an ID or anything. You just stroll right on in and get your COVID-19 vaccine. Let's see. Now, the Lincoln Community Health Center has a similar situation where you can stroll in from 9 to 11. Now, did I mention it's weekdays? I mentioned that with the public health is weekdays. Same for Lincoln Community Health Center on 1301 Fayetteville Street. They also have stroll in, walk in COVID-19 vaccines. They have the Moderna vaccine. That means age 18 and up, as far as I know. Weekdays from 9 until 11 in the morning, and also afternoons from 1 to 4. Now, if you need a test, I do have the phone number for you to call. You do have to sign up first, and then you can, they have tests also on weekdays. And speaking of tests, let's see where OptumServe is today, because they've been contracted by the state to administer free COVID tests to Durham residents. Let's see. What's today, Wednesday? Okay, so they're at El Centro Hispano until 6, drive-through available. They're also at Oldham Towers, which is on Main Street downtown, until 4:30. Now, tomorrow, they will be at El Centro Hispano, McDougal Terrace, and Oxford Manor. Okay, now let's go to the sports page, Sport and Life. I wish I could get Mr. 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟 on the show. I have a feeling he is a regular 9 to 5 because he hasn't been able to make it yet. But I'm going to find out some way to get him on the show, even if it's pre-recorded. We'll figure something out. But I do want to tell you about Bull City Futsal. And that is where young people can learn how to play futsal, which is a faster, cooler, if you want to say, I shouldn't say that. No judgments. A smaller, faster way of playing soccer or football. So it's with smaller teams. I don't know how many players per side, but I know it's fewer than soccer. The ball is smaller, and they play more like on a court as opposed to a gigantic field. So they're going to have elementary, middle school, and high school academies where there's 6 skill sessions and then 3 full games, all held at Sherwood Park on Cheek Road. So sign up because it all starts on June 20th, and that's only a week and a half away. So sign up. Let me check. I think everything's free. Yeah, everything is free. So definitely Bull City Futsal, elementary school, middle school, and high school academies. Definitely. All right, and let's see. Oh, today is Wednesday. That means it's time for PAL Esports. PAL is the Police Athletic League, and of course the local Police Athletic League sponsors, Durham Police Department, naturally. So young people, now Jatovi told me that it's supposed to be young people ages 5 to 18, but there's no restrictions and everybody shows up pretty much. But basically you're playing sports like esports, which means computer sports. Among Us, Rocket League, which I have seen. Rocket League is playing soccer with cars. sports cars, something like that. Anyway, it looks really cool. Roblox, which I don't know what that is, and other online games you can play with the police officers. The best part is that these games are always free to download. So there's no cost as long as you have a way to connect and get the game. You know what? I have to ask 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟 if you have to have a computer. I don't know enough about esports to know if you can play with, what's it called, the PlayStation and Nintendo and all that. I'm going to ask and find out because that's really good to know. I don't have that in the article. Let me make a quick note of that to call 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟 McDuffie and find out if it's restricted to computer only. That's good to know. That's what happens when you don't know an awful lot. So he knows everything. So I'll find out for you. Let's see. It's not too late to sign up for the PAL one-day baseball camp. This is for boys and girls, ages 11 to 14. So the next one will be on Saturday, June 19th from 9 until 11. It's not too soon for me to tell you about this because, after all, once they get the number of kids they need, and that'll be it. So I want you to have a chance to have your kid to participate. This is going to be at Hillside Park on the other side of W.D. Hill in Roxborough, and they can learn the fundamentals of baseball and softball. And this is no pressure, but just to let you know, there's college scholarships in both sports. Just saying. Anyway, they can work on their hitting, fielding, throwing, and game play. All righty, is that it? Okay, let's go to the Let's Go page, the calendar of events page. It's Wednesday. That means the Wednesday Durham Farmers Market is today in Durham Central Park downtown from 3 until 6. Now, not all of the farmers that are taking part in the Wednesday Farmers Market, they're not necessarily the same ones who are there on Saturdays. Some of them are, some of them aren't. So I know there's someone there that has really yummy bakery goods. Something called, I think it's called focaccia. I don't know if I said that right. But anyway, it's delicious. Anyway, just check it out. It should be really great fun and a wonderful way of just spending some time outside. Supposedly, it's not going to rain today. So, yeah. Let's see what else is happening. New Visions of Africa restaurant. They're giving away free meals from 3 until 6 if you're hungry, if you are in need. They're on Fayetteville Street, right next door to W.D. Hill. So be sure to wear your face mask, stop in, and get a free home-cooked meal. All right. Kings Park International Church. They're on Odyssey Drive, which is, it's been so long. You know, when you don't drive around, I've been indoors for so long, I forgot where. I think it's off of Highway 55. Anyway, they have their food pantry and clothing closet. That's going to be from 5 until 6. You can get fresh, frozen, and canned foods and gently used clothing. Just suppose if you're, trying to get a job, I told you about the city jobs that are up for grabs. Check the link on the Word page and get a job with the city. But if you need clothes like office attire or something nice for your interview, then definitely, and you don't have anything, just check out the Kings Park International Church Food Pantry and Clothing Closet today. They do this every Wednesday from 5 until 6. All righty. Marva's Fun. She has her Stay Well virtual line dance class today from 7 until 8. It's on Zoom. It's fun. It's learning the dance steps to the latest line dances and to also classic ones, the ones that maybe you missed. And now that everything's opening back up, I'm just thinking of all the family reunions that are going to be held this year that people couldn't go to last year. There's going to be an awful lot of line dancing. So I highly suggest that you check out Marva's Fun. And I know there's going to be other line dance classes popping up, and just brush up on your line dance skills because you don't want to be having to sit down and watch the others during your next family reunion. Okay, also now tonight, Brett's open mic, that is from 7 until 10 at the Blue Note Grill. You can go in person. The admission is $5. I think they're still practicing the social distancing. If you still feel a little squeamish, you can stay home and maybe tip the musicians $5. But in any case, it will be from 7 until 10 at Brett's open mic. You can also watch on Facebook. Brett has a Facebook page, and you can actually watch Brett's open mic on Facebook. And do the Venmo and the Cash Mo and all that kind of stuff. All right. Is that it? Let's see. I think it's pretty much it. All righty. Let's check the weather. It is 81 degrees. It's cloudy. The sun was just out a second ago, but for now it's cloudy. And the forecast also says it's going to jump all the way up to 90. It's going to be 90 degrees, which means it's going to be really humid. And supposedly the thunderstorms won't hit until dinner time. Let me check because our weather reports just change by the moment. Let's see. See, it's been moved back an hour. Okay. Okay. No, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying the weather is so volatile. So now it's saying 70% chance of thunderstorm at 7 o'clock tonight. So 7 o'clock. There you go. And supposedly no rain. It'll just be cloudy all afternoon. And then boom, 7 o'clock until, let's see. Whoa, until 9. And then regular rain until midnight. So there you go. There you go. Now tomorrow it's going to be 82. It's going to drop down to 82 with a 70% chance of thunderstorms. So with that, that means it's safe to go to the farmer's market. I can pretty much put that in the bank. And with that, you have a beautiful day. If no one wants to hop in, you can click on that. Did I leave the link? Yeah, the link is right there. Let me show you my email address if you don't mind, because more and more people are starting to send me information, and I love that for the Durham Skywriter. They're also wanting to advertise, which I love as well. That helps keep me in business. It looks like we have a guest. Okay. Wanda Williams, let's bring her on. Here we go. Hello. Oh, that is so rude. Let me get that out of your face. Oh my goodness. There you go. You might want to turn down your Facebook.
Hello.
Oh, that is so rude. Yeah, can close your Facebook page.
Turn the volume down.
You might want to turn down your.
Is that better?
A little bit. Close your Facebook page. Because you don't want echo. See if you can turn it all the way down.
There we are.
There. How are you?
Great. I guess you can already tell I am not technically inclined.
You know what? We're all learning. We are all learning. There's so much that I don't know, but I know who to ask.
Well, that's
the key.
There you go.
Who to ask. Know some young folks who can set you straight. So how are you?
I am great. I don't know if you remember me. I was at an event vending in Durham about a month ago, and I was out there with my book, Coping with the Loss of a Loved One. You remember?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. I want to interview you on TV Skywriter for sure.
Great. And I said this would be great to just tune in and click the button. I got it right so far. I see your face and I can hear me, so we're good.
Perfect. So I have this other show called TV Skywriter, and it's on Sundays at 7. And that's more of a, formal interview show where I can dedicate all the time to my guest. I would like for you to come on that show. But of course, I love it. Yeah, and I love it when people drop by Bull City Hangout as well. But tell us about your book, even though I'm going to interview you formally, but tell us about your book, and you can hold it up if you have it on hand.
Yes, I have a copy here. My book, Coping with the Loss of a Loved One. And this book was written because after I lost my mom, a part of my healing was journaling. And I was at a place that I thought that, oh my goodness, I was really at a place that I didn't want to live anymore. I just felt like I could not go on. Mom wasn't just mom, she was my best friend. Goodness. Where I am today, to just be where I'm grateful every day God sends me, I'm grateful for it. I feel good. I have positive thoughts, and I just shared my journey, and I want others, as many as possible to know about it, to help them during this time of losing a loved one. A lot of people have passed on, even without COVID, you have a lot, but even with COVID-19, it has affected so many families. And
Yeah,
I
I've
just
known
want to share
people.
my story.
Yeah, I've known people who died from COVID too, and it's really sad. And it's really sad. I'm not actually from Durham. My mom's from Durham, and I moved here to take care of my aunt who had Alzheimer's. But so my original home is Chicago, and it's so sad when you get the call from loved ones saying, you know, so and so died, and you can't even go to the funeral or anything.
Right. Yes, you're right. That very limited. And even the thought of just before losing that loved one, you weren't allowed into, you know, they had to use video or talk by phone or something, but you just couldn't be there with them. And it's a traumatic time for so many people.
That's too much to even think about. I
Yes.
can't. I mean, I've known people. There's a gentleman named Guy Cook. He likes to hop on the show, and he lost his mom a few months ago. He wasn't able to visit.
Right.
You know, and I was like,
very difficult time.
He's older than I am, which means that now. I'm not trying to say the older you are, the more it hurts, but I'm just saying the older you are, the longer you've known that person.
Right.
I think the pain is still devastating, even if you're 12, maybe even more if you're a kid. But anyway, I want to get
just
to
couldn't imagine.
But I'm just saying he couldn't even see his mom. So that's frustrating. But journaling sounds interesting. Now, so when you journal, does that mean you are writing down what you're doing and how you're feeling, or just how you're feeling?
Basically how you're feeling. But with me, that's how it has been. It's how I'm feeling. But if you choose to journal, it's a form of therapy. So whatever is within you that you want to release, that's up to you. I just happen to journal how I feel. Even my conversations with God, I'm writing down my thoughts. And it was very therapeutic for me. And I suggest for those that may be listening that's going through the pain, the difficulty of losing a loved one, is to give that a try, is to journal. There are quite a few other things that you can do that I do list in the book that sort of helps with that grieving process. And even to the point, if you feel like you need to seek therapy, to speak to someone, possibly even medication if you need it, then definitely that's something to consider. But with me and what I've written are ways to move forward through this grief process with just doing things naturally, be it journaling, be it craft work for me, using bright colors, because bright colors is a mood elevator. So there are things that, and also I made a gratitude list. Write down what you're grateful for. When you're thinking about what you're grateful for, your mind isn't on the problems. There's always something in this world. Every day you wake up is something new that seems like it's always something negative. Well, think about what God has already done for you. What has he done? Write it down and then take a look at what it is. And it just makes you feel different. It's a positive effect. And that's what you want to combat the grief that you're going through.
Right. And also I lost my mom. It was way back in the 90s. It was quite traumatic. But I do have to say, give yourself some time. It's not going to be right away. Now, sometimes people can be kind of, I'm not going to say cruel, because they're not trying to be cruel, but they think that there's enough time. There's a certain amount of time you're supposed to grieve, and that you should have gotten over it by now. You don't listen to people like that, because it does take time.
And that's a good point, Patricia. That's a good point. That happens quite often. I also do grief coaching, and I hear that comment quite often, is that family or friends want to put a time limit on it when grief has no expiration date. You mentioned back in the 90s with your mom. I guarantee you there are times that you can wake up and it feels like it just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Something that will
I still remember the phone call and everything.
Yeah, something triggers it. And so don't allow people to make you feel like there's something wrong or you should be progressing further because you're going through the grief. There's no time limit on that.
And you're getting better when you can think of your loved one and laugh.
Exactly.
Wow. Then I'm getting better because we're making fun of mom again.
There you go.
She was a funny person. But yeah, it'll take a while. Now, sometimes, and I know we're going to talk about this when I actually formally interview you. When my little brother died, that was very, Now, my mom was sick,
Mm-hmm.
so we kind of saw it coming. We didn't expect it, but it still hurt. With my little brother, it was an accident. So that was like out of the blue
Yeah,
and
unexpected.
totally unexpected. He was only
Mhm.
21. But here's the thing, and I was in my 20s still too. But what amazed me is that you try to hold it together for your family and it might hit you years later. That happened
Right.
to me. Yeah. And I was like, what am I crying for? Yeah. I mean, that stuff can be really deep.
Yes. Yes, it
Yeah.
can.
But
Yes,
you
it
have
can.
to recognize what's going on and be patient with yourself. And like
Definitely
you
be
said,
patient.
get help if you can, if you know how, if you can. If you
Hmm.
don't know how, ask someone, ask a bunch of people, or even go online, and you'll figure out how to. Even if you call the Durham County Department of Public Health, even
Right.
if you don't even know where to go, you can just call them. They'll hook you up.
You can. And there's also a national hotline that you can call to talk to someone in a crisis. There's always
Mhm.
someone, it's a 1-800 number that you can call. Also, always someone that you can talk to in no judgment zone, just
Mhm.
someone to listen. And it goes a long way at times just to have someone to listen without judging. Just
Mhm.
whatever it is that's inside of you that you want to share, it makes a difference just to be able to verbalize, to get it out.
Right.
It's very therapeutic.
And there is nothing wrong with a good cry,
Nothing at all.
boy. Because once
You
it's over
usually
with,
feel so much better afterwards.
yeah, I mean, you've made a mess,
Yeah,
but it feels great afterwards after you've
right.
cleaned yourself up and wash your face and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, let me go back to your journal though. So when you start journaling, you're bearing your soul and you're writing really personal things. So are journals meant to be secret, private, something that you hide? And the reason I'm asking that is because sometimes a young person will do something horrendous and the parents will find their journal after the fact and they'll say, darn it, if we had known. So what do you think about that side of
Well,
journaling?
now the journaling that I did, and that's often done for healing, it's not necessarily you bearing your soul about something that may have happened in school or something like that. What
Okay.
what I did in my journaling is pretty much what I was feeling at that time. Let's say, for example,
Mhm.
beach therapy works wonders for me. I love to go to the beach because the beach, the ocean, the walk, the meditation that I'm experiencing, that I'm as I walk
Mhm.
along the shores and I'm just talking to God. And then as I'm talking to God, He pours into me. Now, I don't know about other people, but for me, as He pours
Mhm.
into me, and I release that on paper. And after releasing it on paper, I look at this and I'm thinking, this can help someone else, because also in the book is prayers. Prayers are in the book, and poetry.
Good. Oh,
Now,
okay.
right now, this moment, I can't give you a poem. I cannot. I am a registered nurse. I am not a writer. But when I
Mhm.
looked at what I had, and I'm thinking, where'd this come from? I knew it was for me to share my story because, and it had to be because I'm a very private person.
Mhm.
I'm not even much of a talker to tell you the truth. I'm more of a listener. But
Mhm.
I felt like I had to do this, and once the book was published and I released it, it was like a weight that was off of me. And
Mhm.
and I'm grateful for doing it, because people that have read the book, just to receive emails and they thank me for sharing my story, or I understand I felt this way, or this has helped me. It makes it all worth it. It makes it all worth me sort of being naked, because that's how I felt sharing my story.
Mhm.
I felt like I was just totally naked, but it makes it all worth it knowing that I have helped other people. So
So
that's why.
I'm guessing that your book probably contains maybe some excerpts from your journal
It
and I'm
does.
wondering, so after you've gotten all your feelings out, do you throw away the journal so that you don't have to re-experience those raw emotions?
That's a good question. There have been times when I wanted to just stop what I was doing, because it brought back. There were times I would sit here and I would cry, or there are times that during a grief session that I have to
Mm-hmm.
hold back the tears, because I'm rehashing that pain or the sadness.
Sure.
I'm rehashing it,
Yeah.
and I felt like, oh, I don't want to do this. but I feel like this is my purpose at this stage in my life. This is my purpose. And for me, in my relationship with God, there's no question I have to do what I'm doing. For how long, I don't know. But for right now, I am to share my story. And that is because I also speak during women's conferences, or next month I'm invited at a cancer organization to speak. So I do that. But it can be challenging. So I encourage those that maybe you're going through, you're depressed, you're grieving, you're overwhelmed with anxiety. Try journaling.
Okay, you know, it's really funny. We're talking about, well, it's not funny, but we're talking about grief as if we're talking about people dying, and we are. But somebody told me that when you lose a job, you can go through the same grief process. Because for some people, at least temporarily, I hope, it's the end of the life as they knew it, in terms of being able to pay their bills and being comfortable and getting the kids whatever it is that they want, etc. And that, of course, you don't want to spend too much time grieving if you're unemployed. You need to get another job, of course. But I have heard that it's a real thing, and that it has to be recognized that when you lose a job that you really liked, you can grieve for it, you know, and it doesn't hurt to recognize it. Of course, again, you have to pick yourself up if you're the breadwinner and you know, go on and get the next job. But to be aware of those feelings at least.
Right. Grief, there are various forms of grief. As you mentioned, you lose your job. There's grief when you divorce, particularly if there's one that wanted out of the marriage and the other one did not. The one that did not is definitely grieving. I have been through all those stages: divorce, job, and losing a loved one. And definitely there's grieving there. I could not compare anything. To me, even though I grieve those other things, there's nothing that compares to the loss of that loved one that you're so close to.
Oh, certainly not
at all. I mean, you can get another job, might not be what you want, you can get another job, but once you've lost that loved one, that is it.
That's true. That's true. But,
and also, and I also want to mention that people grieve the loss of their animal. I have a dog. I've had her for 13 years. And I tell you, I couldn't love her. I could not love my dog Morgan more as if she were a human being. I just could not. And I already told my neighbors, when something happens to her, just get ready, because this is going to be, somebody needs to watch out.
Ugly.
It's going to be a difficult time.
Yeah, we used to celebrate our dogs' birthdays when I was a kid. They were definitely
I still do. I do. I celebrate my dog's birthday.
Here's the thing. We didn't always, well, we never knew when their actual birthdays were. What we used to do is to assign the closest. We would kind of do some rudimentary math and try, like Rex. We had several dogs, but Rex shared my birthday. So we did the math. When we got Rex from the shelter, we kind of guessed that he was born closest to my birthday. So he would share my birthday. And that's a cool way, I think, for families to acknowledge their pets, is to assign them their birthdays. And if they get them from the shelter and don't really know when they were born.
Yeah.
And
just pick a day. Just pick a day and stick with it.
Yeah. It's a great way.
Yeah.
I am so glad you dropped it. Hold up your book again. Is it on Amazon?
Let's see what it's on Amazon, or either my website is mywordtherapy.com, mywordtherapy.com.
Let me
see.
Yes.
There we go. I got it up there. Coping with the loss of a loved one.
Okay.
But it is also available on Amazon. But if you go to my website, I can autograph the book and send it to you.
Ooh. Okay. I'm a slow typist. My what?
Word therapy.
Word.
I look at my word therapy, and I come up with that because I look at words that heal. Use words to heal.
There you go. Excellent.
Thank you for allowing me to be on, Patricia. I've enjoyed speaking with you today.
Sure. And in fact, there was another author at that same event named 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟, and I've had her on the show like a couple of weeks ago. She was on my show. Okay. She was at the same event. Okay. So I'm glad you showed up today, because I know I think you gave me a card. I think I have it over here somewhere.
I did. I think I did.
Yeah. Let me see. Oops, I guess I don't. Well, it's around here somewhere. Anyway, I'm so glad you came on the show to
Yes, thank you.
remind me.
I've enjoyed speaking with you.
Absolutely. And in fact, contact me on Messenger so that I can call you and set up a date for you to,
Okay.
come on my show.
I will do that. I sure will.
Okay.
And
And
thank
thanks
you.
again. Absolutely. You have a wonderful day.
You as well.
Okay. Bye-bye. That was awesome. She just dropped in, and I love that. Met her at let's see, it was that event in Durham Central Park. Super fun. Anyway, so I don't want to take up more of your time. So be sure to send information to the Durham Skywriter, durhamskywriter@gmail.com. Of course, you can find me on Facebook. Follow the Durham Skywriter on Facebook. And also share this out so that more people can know what's happening in Durham. And with that, have a beautiful day. I will see you tomorrow at noon for Bull City Hangout. Ciao for now.